In a bid to unify Gauteng's public transport system and restore calm in the area, the MEC for Roads and Transport, Kedibonye Diale-Tlabela, says recent discussions with Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi have now prompted government support for Maponya Mall's centre management, including, of course, the installation of security cameras in order to strengthen safety measures there. And for more on this, let's now welcome Gauteng MEC for Roads and Transport, Ms. Kedibone Diale-Tlabela herself here in studio. MEC, it's a great pleasure having you with us. I was supposed to talk to you earlier, but you decided to drive here, so we really appreciate you coming to studio. So briefly take us through some of the outcomes of your engagement earlier on today in Soweto between, of course, the Maponya Mall management as well as law enforcement.
You'd know that as Gauteng we have prioritized fighting crime in our province, and in our discussion, I think one thing that we need to do is to strengthen police visibility in our communities, as well as putting up cameras. We have heard Premier speaking about putting cameras on everywhere, almost everywhere in Gauteng. And I think we need to fast track, especially in places of entertainment as well as places of economic activity like Maponya Mall. We also spoke to the center management that have committed to strengthening their security. It's now come. All stakeholders are on board. Even this morning we were together discussing other matters, including preparation for the funeral of Mthokozisi. We have visited those who are in hospital. Unfortunately for us, we couldn't get one of the patients because she has been released, and one is still within our health facilities. And we wish them speedy recovery. We have met with the family of Mthokozisi just now. We went there with the e-hailers themselves. All is a bit getting together. All stakeholders are now working together, which is what we are preaching in Gauteng. We've been working on ensuring cooperation and collaboration of all public transport operators in our province for almost 8 months. And unfortunately, we were caught off guard, I must say, that we didn't expect what happened on Wednesday to happen, because we thought we were at the stage whereby they all understand that they need to coexist. We're calling out those who continue to do intimidation. It's not allowed. They know my stance. Younger women than me and those who are my age have the right to choose a mode of transport that we want to choose, especially because we are commuters of e-hailers ourselves. Me and you prefer to use e-hailers. They themselves, as taxi industries, their children, their grandchildren, they use e-hailing. And these are the things we raised in the meeting with them. They have committed themselves. And somebody was talking about the people we sit with in the meeting and the people on the ground. They seem to be far miles and miles apart. And that forces us to come on the ground to help them organize their ground. And that's what we are doing in Maponya now with Soweto e-hailers as well as the taxi associations there, so that we bring everybody together to understand that they can be like other malls. In other malls now we are far advanced. You can see the queues of people waiting for e-hailing, the queues of people waiting for a taxi. So it's possible to coexist. There's models that are doing that.
So they have agreed to this coexistence, the MEC?
No, they do. It's a principle in our province.
And operations are back to fully normal now? Operations
are fully back to normal. There's still some issues of just getting to know who's who in that space. And I'm happy that even today we made a new grouping. So of new people who say they are e-hailers in the space, and then we've brought them onto the table so that we deal and assist them. One thing that shocks me is last week we announced that we'll be opening an office. And when I say there's progress of the 7 months that we've been engaging with the industry and the e-hailers themselves, we've been putting together a smart licensing center in Maponya, which was ready to operate, including a toll lab there. So last week we announced that all e-hailers with challenges, whether it's licenses or any other thing, they must come. At 11:30 when I went to check, only one person came.
Because that's another question I wanted to ask, which was central to this impasse, MEC, the issue of minibus operators basically forbidding e-hailing services from operating, saying that, citing a wide range of reasons, but saying at the top of those reasons was that some of these e-hailing drivers were actually operating without valid permits.
A lot of them are operating without licenses.
But how are they?
We remember the NLTA had to be amended to accommodate. Remember, e-hailing came abruptly, and as government and as people, we didn't plan for it. And the amendment was signed off. The minister is still busy finalizing the regulations. This morning, I got confirmation that they will be released the end of September. But then I said to the e-hailers to say, we can't wait. We must self-determine. And that is the process that we're busy with as Gauteng, to say, how do we self-determine? Amongst others, there is a challenge to them is the apps they're participating in. Others are saying we are being exploited by people we can't see, who are not even here in the country, and many other things. And others have presented ideas, apps, and needing support. And we already are far advanced in trying to enhance what is there, bringing it together. Because also as government, we can't sit back and not have control over public transport services. And one of the things that I am lobbying for in government is to say that, how about we help South Africans who have interest in e-hailing services to establish their own South African app, which we will have part of as a public-private partnership. In transport, we talk about concessionaires. We can do that, and we can perfect it because we've got other pilot projects that we have tried.
I think when specifically when the e-hailing services were still, of course, just an idea in the country, and I think what we heard from their reports was that they didn't eventually get the operating licenses, but the structure and the business plan was already there.
They are there. Today I learned about a new one that I never got to know, Barakishusha, the Shesha that we sponsored as Gauteng Roads and Transport.
The Santaco one.
The Santaco and GNTA, as well as other e-hailers that moved out of other organizations. There's many others. And that's why we also are saying, let's call upon both proudly South Africans to come on board. Let's develop this thing for ourselves, because this is a lifelong business opportunity and it must be about South Africans. The drivers must be South Africans. The operators themselves must be South Africans. So those are the challenges that the sector is faced with, and we are willing to assist as government to help them self-determine and to help them establish themselves. And I'm happy that when we have a conversation with all of them, they are agreeing to that. There are those who are far advanced who says, we don't need government support. All we need from you is operating license. We need you to regulate the prices. But I can't just speak about regulation of pricing when I don't know who's an operator. Because when a young woman is kidnapped, when a young woman is raped, we all don't know who is that operator. And that's what we are focusing ourselves on, to help them get operating license. That's an economic tool. You can't just give it to anyone. And that's why we're passionate that let's give it to our own, which is community members that are looking forward to participating in this industry.
All right. MEC, there's another one. Of course, Nandwe Association and the water conflict, they blaming you as being inactive in finding a resolution between that spot. What is exactly going on there?
You know, like this is a very old age issue. Water and Nandwe, not only them, we have identified the hotspots for ourselves. The matter is in arbitration. So once it's in the legal process, you wait for the process to complete and you get the feedback on how do we move forward. So we are waiting for that, but not only just waiting, we're also dealing with assisting both. If you checked, our intention was to go and launch ZVSA to assist them. We also have commissioned CSIR to help us do a taxi count there. You know, people want us to say, be like Khabisi and may his soul rest in peace. close the ranks. The very same people who say close the ranks, after you close the ranks, they want transport. And who is transport in that regard? So we are allowing the legal process to continue on the side of what they themselves did. And we are wanting to assist them. We are wanting to come up with a model. There's a model that is working for us in Gauteng around Alexander Marlborough Station, which a lot of those we meet with at the provincial level are agreeing and seeing it as an opportunity. It will help us as government. We'll be able to collect tax, because this is one industry that we have left for a very long time to run itself, not be compliant. And a lot of them are trying, and they want to.
All right.
To be cashless, modernize them, because cash is killing people, you know. Modernize them and help them to be sustainable. And amongst others is there must be customer satisfaction. Once there's no customer satisfaction, you are a dying industry. A current commuter does not want inconvenience.
All right, Missy, unfortunately, we're out of time. I would have loved to know about what investigations are pointing towards in terms of that slain e-hailing driver there, and of course some other outstanding issues with minibus operators said to be stopping some private vehicles and of course insisting that they cannot have more than one passenger inside. But unfortunately, well, the minister did address me. I can share that with you after this, but this is where we're going to end it for this particular moment with Gauteng MEC for Roads and Transport, Ms. Kedibone Diale-Tlabela, with an update there on their meeting with Maponya Mall management in order to address ongoing minibus and e-hailers impasse in Maponya Mall. She assures us that that impasse has since been resolved.